Our first slide is diagnosed as old cell carcinoma. Old cell carcinoma is the old name for small cell carcinoma. Those are the tumor cells. So that you will have an idea how small they are, let us first examine the size of the red blood cells. Okay, seen among the tumor cells are actually extravasated red blood cells. So, ganyan kaliit ang mga red blood cells, ganon din kaliit ang mga tumor cells in small cell carcinoma. Now, what are the characteristics that you should remember about small cell carcinoma? Among the malignancies in the lungs, they are the most aggressive and hard to treat. They also have a great propensity to metastasize. Most of the time, small cell carcinoma is diagnosed as metastatic already to the cervical or supraclavicular lymph nodes. They also have a very fast rate of mitosis, so supporting their very fast rate of growth. And because of that very fast rate of multiplication, they eventually develop into that condition. Okay, these are the tumor cells. How do you describe those cells pointed? What is their condition? They are anucleate, so that they are considered as they are necrosed cells, or they are dead cells. So viable tumor cells, dead tumor cells. What type of necrosis is involved? Liquefactive or coagulative? Coagulative. Now, coagulative necrosis results most of the time from lack of blood supply. So because of very fast rate of multiplication of the tumor cells, there are tumor cells which will suffer anoxia. Pag hindi na makayang isupply ng mga blood vessels ang oxygen need ng mga cancer cells. That is why they will eventually die. So that characteristic histologic feature of this neoplasia is the presence of the small tumor cells with accompanying areas of hemorrhage and necrosis. So if you will shift to low power magnification, you will be able to appreciate better the large areas of necrosis. The pointed areas are composed of viable tumor cells, and then the red areas are the areas of necrosis. So that is a blood vessel. It is exhibiting now the Azzopardi effect. Okay, so that will be your assignment. What is Azzopardi effect? Now, to further demonstrate the invasive and aggressive property of this neoplasm, that is actually a lymphatic vessel. There are now tumor cells which have infiltrated the lymphatic vessels. So they are now in the position to metastasize because they are already present in the lymphatic vessel, and then there is a blood vessel already because of the presence of ano yung cells na naka-white. Those are the tumor cells, and then those cells are red blood cells. So we are able to see that the tumor cells are actually inside a blood vessel because of the presence of the red blood cells. They have infiltrated already a vascular channel and a lymphatic channel. That is another vascular channel containing the tumor cells. This neoplasm is highly aggressive. Our next pulmonary malignancy is bronchial carcinoid. You have already seen a carcinoid tumor before. What is the characteristic pattern of arrangement that will be displayed by the tumor cells in carcinoid tumor? What is the biologic feature of carcinoid tumors? They will produce what syndrome most of the time? Some of them will be actively producing hormones which would exert effects to other organs of the body outside of the organ of origin of the tumor, producing clinical signs and symptoms that are secondary to the hormones produced by these tumor cells. How do you call that syndrome? Paraneoplastic syndrome. And then, what is the characteristic description of the nesting pattern that is displayed by the tumor cells in carcinoid tumor? Starts with letter Z. Okay, cell valence. So in the practical exam, expect that that pattern of cellular arrangement will be demonstrated for you to be able to come up with the diagnosis of carcinoid tumor. Nesting pattern or cell valence arrangement of the tumor cells. So most of the time, the tumor cells will have a uniform round to oval nucleus with eosinophilic cytoplasm. So the eosinophilia will be secondary to the synthetic activity of the tumor cells. What is the biologic behavior of carcinoid tumors? Are they highly aggressive or they will act as a benign tumor? They will have a borderline characteristic. Okay, so that will be your assignment again. So for the morphology, you should be able to identify the characteristic cell valence pattern of arrangement of the tumor cells in carcinoid. Yun ang signature histologic feature ng carcinoid tumors. Our next pulmonary malignancy will have a central location. In comparison with adenocarcinoma, most of them will develop at the peripheral portion of the lungs. Squamous cell carcinoma will develop at the central portion of the lungs, particularly in the airways. So what type of airway are we seeing if that tissue is taken from the lungs? A bronchus, because of the presence of that tissue, which is hyaline cartilage. What is the usual epithelium lining the bronchi? Ano? Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Let us examine that epithelium lining that bronchus. How will you classify that epithelium? Is that epithelium composed of columnar cells? Columnar pa ba yung mga cells na yan? So how will you classify that epithelium now? Squamous na. Diba? So from the original pseudostratified columnar ciliated epithelium, it has been changed into a stratified squamous epithelium already. How do you call that change? What type of adaptation is that? Metaplasia. Very good. So yan, from the original pseudostratified columnar to stratified squamous epithelium. The epithelium undergoes metaplasia because squamous epithelium provides a better protection against harmful chemicals. What is the predisposing factor for the development of squamous cell carcinoma? Smoking. There are a lot of carcinogens present in cigarette smoke. So, and aside from that, aside from the carcinogens, there are also hundreds of harmful chemicals that can cause injury to the tissues of the lungs in cigarette smoke. So that is why, in order to protect itself, the epithelium of the bronchi will undergo metaplasia. First into stratified squamous epithelium. And then, pag hindi pa nag-stop ng smoking ang may-ari ng lungs na yan, that change will follow metaplasia. What is the characteristic of the nucleus of the squamous cells in a stratified squamous epithelium? Large nuclei are normally seen in stratum basale. And then gradually there will be a decrease in size of the nucleus of the squamous cells as they ascend to the superficial layer, the stratum corneum, or the superficial layer. How will you describe the size of the nucleus of the nuclei pointed? Are they small or not? They are large, and are you able to appreciate the gradual decrease in size? No. So that from metaplasia, what change has occurred? Dysplasia. Metaplasia, dysplasia. How will you define dysplasia? Another evidence that that is a dysplastic epithelium is the presence of mitotic figures above the stratum basale. Normally, mitotic activity should be present near the basement membrane only. Here, we are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. Even at the superficial layers, mitosis is occurring. So, how do you define dysplasia? Ano? Disorganized growth. And then, if there is still persistent exposure to the carcinogens, a malignancy will develop which will still be confined by the basement membrane. How will you call that malignancy? Which is limited in the epithelium only and by the basement membrane. Ano? Carcinoma in situ. And then the problem with the owner of that lung is that the tumor cells have already traversed the basement membrane. They have already infiltrated the deep tissues. So that the neoplasm can now be classified as invasive squamous cell carcinoma. Okay, those are the tumor cells. So most of the time, they will be surrounded by lymphocytes and macrophages. And then unfortunately, the enzymes that will be released by the macrophages will help the tumor cells digest the surrounding tissues. So they will even, the macrophages will even facilitate the invasion of the adjacent tissues. Okay? So at first, metaplasia, and then dysplasia, squamous cell carcinoma in situ, and then that area will now show us the invasive sheets of squamous cells. So invasive squamous cell carcinoma. Next slide is adenocarcinoma. This type of carcinoma is more common in what gender? Female. What should be the usual shape should be the usual arrangement of the tumor cells in an adenocarcinoma. The tumor cells are arranged in an adenocarcinoma. The tumor cells will be arranged in glands. Okay? That is one gland with a lumen which is filled with necrotic debris. That is another gland which has already fused with the adjacent gland. So the fusion will be secondary to the very fast rate of multiplication of the tumor cells. So because of that fast rate of multiplication of tumor cells, the glands will be fusing with each other and eventually infiltrate the surrounding connective tissues. And then characteristic feature of adenocarcinomas is that they will produce a hard tumor with hard consistency, because the stroma will respond to the presence of the tumor cells by increasing the synthesis of collagen fibers. Magkakaroon ng surrounding fibrosis sa mga tumor cells. So that is another large gland which is lined by several layers of tumor cells, and then the lumen is filled with necrotic material. How will you call the characteristic fibrotic response of the stroma in the presence of an adenocarcinoma? What is the specific name for that response? Kaya matigas ang mga adenocarcinoma. The name starts with letter D. The D is followed by letter E. And then E is followed by letter S. Desmoplasia. Okay? Kanina, ang squamous cell carcinoma, katabi niya agad na nag-develop siya from the large airways, from the bronchus. Nakita natin kanina ang hyaline cartilage of a bronchus. So, adenocarcinomas, most of the time, develop from the peripheral portion of the lungs, as evidenced by the presence of the alveolar spaces already. What came out in our exam yesterday, this is the type of lung cancer that will present with a bronchiolo-alveolar pattern of spread at its periphery. Okay? If you will look at the picture of a bronchiolo-alveolar carcinoma, that should be the histology that you should be able to see for a bronchiolo-alveolar carcinoma. It is present, this pattern of spread is present at the periphery of this adenocarcinoma. Okay, that's the adenocarcinoma portion. Low power magnification. Adenocarcinoma obvious. Adenocarcinoma portion at its periphery is with bronchiolo-alveolar pattern of spread. So kindly read on the histologic feature of a bronchiolo-alveolar carcinoma. And then if you will look at your textbooks, hey, histology will be seen as the ones pointed. Our last slide is labeled as mesothelioma. Exposure to what chemical is the major predisposition factor or predisposing factor for the development of this malignancy? Asbestos. mesothelioma, the cancer cells will have a highly variable arrangement. So some tumor cells in mesothelioma will be arranged in follicles. So just like the ones pointed, some tumor cells will be arranged in glands. And then some mesotheliomas may even produce tumor cells which will be arranged in papillae. So, isa lang tandaan ninyo, the shape of the tumor cells in mesothelioma is, how will you describe the shape those pointed cells? Cuboidal or columnar? Cuboidal. So, in low power objective view, you are able to see tumor cells in glands and in follicles. And then that portion should be the tissues of the lungs already. We are able to see alveolar spaces. And within the alveolar spaces are numerous macrophages. So what should be the diagnosis in the pointed portion? Pneumonia. Very good. Mesotheliomas will develop in what parts of the lungs? From the acini, from the alveoli, from the bronchi. Mesothelioma will develop from when we talk of lung parenchyma, we are talking about the tissues of the lungs, which will refer to the alveoli. What particular component of the thoracic cavity, from what component of the thoracic cavity will mesothelioma develop? The pleura. Very good. So that should be it for our slide discussion. Kindly prepare for our practical quiz. Thank you.